Hi, my name is Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga. And today I would like to talk to you briefly about why in Yin Yoga poses have a different name than you may be familiar with. They're not Sanskrit names, they're English names. For instance, if you have been practicing regular yoga for a long time, you may be familiar with pigeon pose. And in Yin Yoga, the name of the same pose is swan pose. So why? Why would we do this? Just to confuse you? No, that's not really the reason. Yin Yoga is actually a relatively new form of yoga. It comes from a Chinese, at least more from a Chinese Taoist tradition. And they were known very much to study animals. But the real reason that the names are different in Yin Yoga is because the intention in Yin Yoga is very different from most forms of yoga. Most forms of yoga are really about getting into our muscles, either strengthening them, lengthening them, and that is, our muscles are very yang. I'm sure you're familiar with yin versus yang, and if you're not, yin is cool, it is passive, it is creative, whereas yang is fiery and it's active. So the intention for a very yang style of yoga is very different from a very yin style of yoga. And that is one of the main reasons for the names to be different. Now, another reason I have heard in the yang styles of yoga, we are often very focused on alignment. Sometimes that can lead us a little astray because everybody really is different. Every body really is different. Your bone structure, your muscles. So what somebody can do easily, you may not be able to do, or only with great difficulty, and maybe vice versa. In Yin Yoga, while sometimes alignment is still important to protect you from injury, we are a lot more concerned with the shape of a pose. Now, it's true in Yang Yoga. We are also concerned with the shape of a pose. But we're also contracting muscles. We are generally standing. We may be weight bearing on a joint that could easily be injured. Whereas in Yin Yoga, we are generally down on our mat, down on our back, not always, but there are very few, almost no standing Yin Yoga postures. So while you can certainly injure yourself in Yin Yoga, you're not weight bearing as much. That's not normally where the injuries come from. So really the big takeaway is the intention, the very different intention of Yin Yoga, which is to get into our connective tissue, to our tendons, to our fascia, maybe even a little bit into our bones, our ligaments, and strengthen all that connective tissue. Whereas more yang styles of yoga, generally we're really getting into our muscles, and the intention is to strengthen them, perhaps to lengthen them. And for that reason, we do have different names. It's not to confuse you. I hope you've learned something from this short talk. If you have anything to add, if you have another reason the names are different that I didn't mention, I would love to hear it. Drop me a comment below. You can also subscribe to the weekly newsletter. That is linked up below. And if you enjoyed this talk, go ahead and click the like button. And if you would like to learn more about yoga, and if you would enjoy trying to practice some Yin Yoga, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And have a great rest of your day.